What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a decent amount of criticism going around about Xdefiant recently. Of course, a lot of it is justified, but a lot of the community are making it such a freaking massive deal right now, coming at the developers' necks, just thinking that this is absolutely not possible. It's no way that this game could have been in development for so many years and then it launches this way without knowing any of the details, probably not even playing the alphas nor the betas. It's just the same crap again and again and again, and you best believe we have to go ahead and call that out on this channel today. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And I believe we're 50 subscribers away from 47,000 subs on this channel, which is absolutely absurd. So you already know all the help means the world to me. And, of course, last but not least, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I'll be live today over on Twitch, probably between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, if you guys are interested in that, I have a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and just dive right in, shall we? Now, over on Twitter, and this isn't a rare occurrence, I see it all on Reddit as well. Basically, anywhere that you go for Xdefiant, it is absolutely flooded to the brim with people coming at the developers' necks for this exact reason. But as you can see here, why can't we just have a good shooter? I was so hopeful for Xdefiant, but it's just not it. Nobody wants a shooter with kangaroos and bunny rabbits. What happened to just gunfights and reaction time? Everyone always exploits and ruins it, and the devs do nothing. And then Mark Rubin comes and responds saying, "What are you smoking? We said we are fixing. You think there is some magic button that just instantly changes everything in a matter of minutes? We have to make the changes, then we have to test the patch, 3 days, then it has to be scheduled for platform testing. It takes time." You see, again, I'm not coming at people who were addressing this when it was first, initially brought up. I'm coming at the people who will not stop even after the developers have addressed this and said, yes, we are working on it. We are literally doing something about this. People just cannot fathom the fact that it takes longer than a day to put out some of these updates. Guys, patience is key. Patience is key. And it's going to be hilarious too, because well, not hilarious. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's going to be extremely depressing for the developers, because when they do go ahead and nerf down the bee-hopping a bit, it's still going to be there. And there's going to be a bunch of people saying, oh, they didn't do anything to the movement. All these people who haven't touched this game ever. They're just coming to the experience. They never played the alphas. They never played the betas. They don't even know what this game is. They're going to be like, oh my, people are still bee-hopping. These developers are useless. They said they're going to nerf down the bee-hopping. No, this game was always supposed to have movement. It was always supposed to have it. Go back and look at my videos from a year plus ago. I'm still bee-hopping. There's absolutely no change. The only difference is that it had weapon sway, which is what they're introducing right now into Xdefiant. They're behind the scenes working on it, trying to get it into the game. But just because they're adding in weapon sway, it doesn't mean the game is just going to magically become, boots on the ground only and nobody's going to jump at all. That's not the case. That's simply not the case, and people will still find things to complain about when it comes to that. And then it goes even further with this comment. Did you not notice it during the 9-month delay? I think people can comment when you held the game back almost a year. Which Mark then responds saying, the reason for the delay was that our social system didn't work at scale. So if we had launched back then, you would not have been able to party up, which isn't acceptable. We had no choice. Then going on saying, since we delayed, we also swapped out part of the netcode that would allow us to better handle increased scale. Now that new netcode has to be retuned once we got good data on it, which we are doing right now. But you understand the frustration. We had it too. And again, this goes for everything across the board, even down to the netcode. You see, I see people all the time saying, they've been working on the netcode for years, and it's not. What are you guys talking about? It's the same situation as a stress test. People are hopping in to a server stress test thinking the game is going to perform good. It's like, it's a reason it's called the server stress test. All it takes is just a little common sense, a little logic. This netcode is brand new. Again, go back to my videos a year plus ago and look at the hit detection. It was fine. Now, of course, the community still had some issues. They complained about the servers and the netcode, even though the developers at the time did say, when you hop into this beta, we have problems with the netcode and servers. Which is funny too, because we're doing the same thing that we did back in the day. We're complaining about this stuff now after they already addressed it. And at the same time, back in the previous betas, we're complaining about it as well when they already addressed it and made it extraordinarily clear that it was going to be indeed an issue within that beta. But regardless, you could see that, it was fine. The hit detection was good. I wasn't getting shot around corners as much as it is now. But that was the old netcode. That was the old one that we were playing on. These are new upcoming issues that got brought forth when they went ahead and switched things around. First and foremost, the social system was the problem. That's why the game went down in the first place. Not because people were abusing b-hopping or any of that crap. No, the game went down because of the fact that they needed to rework the social system so we can play together. Because God forbid they launch the game where you can't play with your friends, it's going to die right out the gate. So they delay it. And then while they delayed it, they also upped the netcode because they got an overwhelming amount of feedback from the community. Again, this game, you have to keep in mind, I guarantee Ubisoft did not think it was going to pop off the way that it did. This game has brought in so many players, probably more than they even expected, which means that they had to do an overall upgrade. So again, when they brought down the servers to work on the social features, they were also working on a new netcode. So when we went into the server stress test, that was a brand new netcode, not one from a year plus ago, not one that's been worked on for 8. No, this is a brand new netcode that has been worked on probably for months. That's it. That has never been publicly tested. The first public test for that netcode was the server stress test. Okay? You have to keep that in mind. Everybody always comes at their neck saying, oh my God, this netcode has been like this for 2 years. How is it like this now? No, it hasn't. This is brand new, okay? It needs time to be polished. It needs time to be worked on, which once again, like I said, they're doing exactly right now. It just blows my mind because I really thought it was just common sense, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's a brand new netcode. We tested it out in the server stress test. It's no way it's going to be good by launch. It's still going to need some tweaking. It might be a slight bit better, but it's not going to be perfect at launch, It's a brand new netcode. Maybe if it was the one that was, from years ago, yeah, it might have perfected nicely if, of course, it could balance out how many players are actually hopping into the game. But since they had to upgrade, it's new, it's just common sense that it's going to need to be tweaked a little bit. I didn't think that a developer was going to have to publicly come out to explain that it's a new netcode and it needs work and they have to, actually gain data from real play tests, You got to think, the first netcode they had how many betas? Like 5, 6, 7, who knows how many betas they had? How many times, how much data they had to backtest on for that netcode and then they completely scrap it for a new one? We had one server stress test and now the launch. Like I said, I just didn't think that was going to have to be a developer needing to come out to explain how this works. It's just people are not actually sitting down and thinking. Guys, patience is key. Patience is key. I feel horrible for these devs because they addressed all of this stuff and they said they understand and they're working on it. And we could be really prioritizing balancing issues and, fixes here and there for things that are, going to be coming later down the road. But instead of doing that, we are just still ramming this one home when once again, they know. They already know. Your extra comment, your extra message is going to do absolutely nothing to their progress on getting that fix out for the community. I'm sorry to say, I don't want to make it seem like, it's pointless now, because it's not. Everybody's voices matter, especially when it comes to criticism for games to help improve them. But when they already publicly come out and announce that they know the issue, they're working on the issue, and us as a community, we know it's a new netcode, we should already be at an understanding that, yeah, it's going to get fixed. Now, if this was a team like Infinity Ward, yes, I would be on their ass when it comes to the netcode. I would leave no breathing room whatsoever because that team gives 2 craps about the community. I mean, for the whole lifespan of Modern Warfare 2, we had to deal with game-breaking bugs and problems that they refused to acknowledge for the whole lifespan. And it wasn't like nobody was talking about it. Everybody was discussing these things, but they wouldn't fix it. So yes, in those scenarios, I understand this type of, approach. But guys, we're talking about the Xdefiant developers here. They are by far the most open, welcoming dev team I've ever witnessed in my whole life, even compared to other indie teams. These guys are phenomenal. And in my opinion, they're one of the main reasons why we were even able to get this type of communication with Modern Warfare 3 and Sledgehammer Games, because of how open and, good it's been with Xdefiant. People like that. They love that. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that they're not going to screw you freaking over. You know who's going to screw you over? Ubisoft. If they shut down the servers, yeah, it's going to be a problem. If they start, charging paid to win microtransactions, it's going to be a problem. But when it comes down to the game, they have given us zero reason to not believe that they can make something banging here and they will fix these issues. They are always open with us, even down to why they delayed the game. They didn't just hide the reason why they delayed it. They told us why they delayed it, and then they told us that they upgraded the netcode, and they acknowledged that they still need to work on the netcode, and nothing's in the shadows here. So in my opinion, there's no reason to be coming at their necks and really getting hostile about it. I'm not saying don't complain, if you're in a match and saying, oh my god, the netcode, or I just got shot around a wall. Nothing wrong with that. But again, I see these long posts all over Reddit with hundreds of upvotes that are constantly being spammed day after day after day. It's like, give it up. Give it up. We get it. Yeah, we're going to complain about it in game, but seriously, stop pestering the developers. At this point, we're pestering them. We're not even giving constructive criticism or constructive feedback. We are pestering the devs. We have to move on and find other things to prioritize and make sure that we can fix up this game in other ways too. I barely even talk about the netcode in this game. I mention it in videos, but when do you see me actually making, whole content for just the netcode and all these other problems alone? I'm not, because again, we talked about it. We all addressed it already. We made videos about it. We made Reddit posts about it. We talked on Twitter about it. They came out and addressed it and said they're going to fix it. That's it. I mean, I don't see any other reason to keep coming at their necks for this until they prove that they don't want to do it. If they come out and they update it and it's horrible, and then they're not open about it being horrible and saying, then yeah, we can have a few problems here. But I don't have any doubt that this team will be able to pull this game together. I really don't. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And if you want to go ahead and check out my stream, I do that over on Twitch pretty much daily. That goes live between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I have a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all next one. Peace out.